This is for educational use only. Our group is allowing instructor Mr. Roldan Ardinis to use this as an educational material. Thank
So, good day, everyone. So, I'm going to explain or talk about the what is the importance of market integration and globalization. Before that, we're going to talk about the integration or what is market integration. So, market integration in globalization is a term that means different things to politicians, business people, and social scientists. To economists, it means the integration of markets. Economists have long thought this is a good thing. So, way back in the 18th century, Adam Smith attacked the old mercantilist ideas of protectionism, which aimed to restrict the inflow of foreign goods. He argued that international trade would expand the size of markets and allow countries to become more efficient by specializing in certain products. Often, market integration is seen as inevitable because it rides on the back of wave of new technology such as smarter phones, faster planes, and expanding internet, and etc. But globalization is also affected by choices made by nations, sometimes conscious, sometimes accidental. Although technological change tends to bring nations together, policy choices can push them apart. Um, mod, uh, Modern globalization is not unprecedented. Globalization has waxed and wane over time as nations have made different policy choices. Sometimes these choices have added to the effect of technological progress on the integration of markets, and sometimes they have hindered it. Market integration is the fusing of many markets into one. So, in one market, a commodity has a single price, such as the price of carrots will be the same in East Paris and West Paris. If these areas were part of the same market, if the price of carrots in West Paris was higher, seller of carrots would move from the east to the west and price would equalize. So for example, the price of carrots in Paris and in Lisbon might be different, although the high transport cost and other kind of expenses might mean that it will be uneconomical for Portuguese sellers to move their stocks to France if prices were higher there. So in distinct markets, the price of the same good can be different for long periods of time. Global market integration means that the price differences between countries are eliminated as all markets become one. One way to the progress of globalization is to look trends on how pieces converge or become similar across countries. When the cost of trading across borders fall, there is more potential for firms to take advantage of price differences. For example, Portuguese carrot sellers to enter the French market. Trading costs fall when new forms of transport are invented or when existing ones become faster and cheaper. Also, some costs are man-made. For instance, states erect barriers to trade, such as tariffs and quotas on imports. When these are reduced, the cost international trading falls. The next one is the rise of global trade. Long distance trade has existed for centuries, at least since the trade missions of the Phoenicians in the first millennial BCA. Such trade was driven by growing population and incomes, which created a demand for new products. But the underlying barriers to trade that divided up markets, such as transport costs, did not change that much. So globalization really took off in the 1890s when the price differences started to close up. This was caused by a transport revolution such as advent of steamships and railroads, the invention of refrigeration, and the opening of the Suez Canal, which slashed the journey times between Europe and Asia. By the eve of the by the eve of the World War One, the global economy was highly integrated, even by late 20th century standards, with unprecedented flows of capital, goods, and labor across borders. So we're going back to the main topic. So what is the importance of market integration and globalization? So in summary for that, market integration is important in globalization because it improves financial and economic efficiency and leads to better economic growth. Market integration may generate financial instability and contagion consequences by increasing assets return to volatility. And that's all for my topic about the what is the importance of market integration in globalization.
The history of global market integration. Ancient trade routes. Global market integration can be traced back to ancient trade routes like the Silk Road, which connected the East and West, facilitating the exchange of goods, cultures, and ideas. Colonialism. During the colonial era, European powers established trading networks and exploited resources in other parts of the world, further integrating global markets. Trade agreements. The establishment of trade agreements like GATT or the General Agreement on Tax and Trade and its successor, the WTO or World Trade Organization, help reduce trade barriers and promote global trade. Financial globalization. The liberalization of financial markets and the rise of the global financial institutions like stock exchanges and investment banks have interconnected economies worldwide. Supply chain. The development of global supply chains has allowed companies to source components and labor from the various countries, optimizing production and distribution. Recent trends. In recent years, geopolitical tensions, protectionism, and debates are the benefits and the drawbacks of globalization have influenced the direction of the global market integration. So why is it important to study the origins history of globalization? So, understanding our world. Globalization is defining feature of the modern world, and its historical roots helps us make sense of the complex global connections that shape our lives today. Economic insights. Examining the history of globalization reveals how economic systems have evolved from the ancient trade routes to modern global supply chains. This historical perspective can inform economic theories and policies. Global cultural exchange. Globalization has facilitated the exchange of ideas, cultures, and traditions across borders. Understanding its origins helps us appreciate the rich tapestry of global cultural interaction. Lessons from the past. Historical example of globalization can provide insights into the benefits and challenges of their interconnected economies, helping us make informed decisions about contemporary globalization issues. Global challenges. Many global challenges, such as pandemics, climate change, and economic crises, require international cooperation. A knowledge of globalization history can foster cooperation and problem solving. Cultural sensitivity. Understanding the historical context of globalization promotes cultural sensitivity and helps avoid cultural misunderstandings in our interconnected world. So, how does history of global market integration happen? International telephone and telegraph, both others rent a car, continental banking, Shiration hotels, and Hartford fire insurance. The integration of the global market began with a big American corporation began to emerge after this Second World War with the rise of the new conglomerates. So, exemplary definition. The globalization of markets refers to the ongoing process of the interconnectedness and interdependence among countries and regions worldwide, where goods, services, capital, and information flow seamlessly across borders, creating a highly integrated global economic system. So, this phenomenon is characterized by the removal of trade barriers, advances in technology, the emergence of global supply chains, and the accessibility of products and services from virtually anywhere on the planet, fostering economic, cultural, and social interactions of global scale. So, we define that the global market as the system that allows commercials, financial, and labor exchange between different countries without any type of restriction. Today, the economy moves in an interconnected way. So, what happens in one country can affect another. So, no one is isolated from an economic point of view. And that's all.
In this juncture, let's talk about the benefits of market integration and economy. Our objectives are highlight primary benefits, explain economic efficiency, discuss foreign investment, and lastly, discuss market access. Increase economic efficiency. Since commodities and services can be produced where they can be produced most effectively, market integration enables optimal resource allocation, costs are reduced as a result, and production is raised. So, in every business, owner must be aware of different strategies for sustained purchases, and one way is this optimal resource allocation. Expanded market access. Firms in integrated markets have access to larger customer bases both domestically and abroad. This can lead to increased sales opportunities and revenue growth. So, it is considered beneficial for the management to have an expanded market, as this will lead to substantially developed sales and a wider consumer range. Competitive pressure. As businesses from several regions or nations compete with one another, market integration frequently intensifies competitiveness. Consumers stand to gain from innovation, decreased costs, and greater product quality as a result. In order to achieve a quality environment, being competitive must be considered in the business. It frequently encourages people and organizations to aim for greatness. It motivates people to raise the bar, experiment, and always enhance their work ethic. Economies of scale. Integration can enable firms to achieve economies of scale by producing larger quantities and spreading fixed costs over a larger market. This can lead to cost reductions and lower prices for consumers. An incorporation can also a growing corporation should always prioritize their consumers and always regard their demands, especially if this will result to their satisfaction. Diversification of risks. Economies that are more integrated are less vulnerable to economic shocks that affect just one industry or region. Economic situations may be stabilized with the help of market diversification. So it states that every business aims to avoid sudden problems, as this will cause massive unfortunate changes to the management. That is why we consider market diversification to assist alternatives. Enhance foreign direct investment, or FDI. Market integration can attract foreign investments as investors seek opportunities in integrated and more stable markets. This can boost capital inflows and economic growth. To broaden the business all over the globe, the business must opt to make connections to different countries and emerge with them. Improve access to capital. Integrated financial markets make it simpler for governments and businesses to obtain cash, encouraging more investment in profitable ventures. So we value time as much as everyone else. Therefore, an enhanced way to save time is to improve accessibility to consumers. Harmonizing of regulations. Harmonizing rules and standards is a common step in market integration that can lower trade barriers and simplify company processes. So this is a standard practice that ought to be included in every area of the business in order to preserve a well-balanced organization. Innovation and technology transfer. Integration promotes innovation and economic growth by making it easier to transfer knowledge, technology, and best practices across national boundaries. So for me, the world is an evolving structure, hence we consider tons of advanced information to create a quick and easy connection to the globe. Political stability. Closer economic ties between countries or regions can promote political stability by creating shared economic interests and reducing the likelihood of conflicts. So it is important to maintain a firm and secured political relationship among economic related businesses in different countries, enabling a low rate of possible conflicts and corruption. Higher standards of living. Market integration can ultimately result in greater standards of life for the populations involved since it encourages economic growth and efficiency. So, since the management's objective is to increase economic growth, it will continue to ensure a community with excellent shape. Reduction in price volatility. Integrated markets can help stabilize prices by allowing for the movement of goods and resources to areas with supply shortages or surpluses. So, to address supply imbalances in various places in order to facilitate the effective movement of resources and goods while reducing price variations.
Good day, sir. I'm the Cadet Limho Cobral Patrick. So, my topic is about globalization of product and globalization of markets. So, what is product globalization? Product globalization creates or modifies a product so that it can be used across many languages and cultures. This process normally results in modifications to user interfaces, technical documents, online help content, legal agreements, and etc. It can involve extremely complex material such as patents, copyright, contracts, and more. So, product globalization can also mean adapting software programs to a local culture, translating any usable text to local language, and modifying certain content to function within the local environment, such as electrical standards or measurement systems. What are the products that benefited from globalization? Good examples of such products are Coca-Cola drinks, the McDonald's chain, Levi's jeans, pop music, Colgate toothpaste, Sanyo TV sets, IBM computers, Wrigley's chewing gum, and Marlboro cigarettes. Common foods that are so much a part of daily sustenance that you would hardly suspect. They originated in other country. But is it true? Most of the foods that we commonly eat today are the product of globalization. Often trading and connections that began centuries before the term came into use. What is globalization of market? Globalization means the ability to produce or sell goods, services in global markets in open competition with others. Only the fittest will survive in open competitions. There exist comprehensive foreign competitions with respect to almost every product all over the world. The globalization of markets has vastly increased international competition. While pursuing the strategy of globalization, the firms have to face the challenges of managing human, technological, physical resources in the foreign markets. The globalization of markets and manufacturing has vastly increased international competitions. So why globalization is important? In the world of business, globalization is associated with trends such as outsourcing, free trade, and international supply chains. Globalization is important as it increases the size of the global market and allows more and different goods to be produced and sold for cheaper prices. Globalization is also important because it is one of the most powerful forces affecting the modern world. So much so that it can be difficult to make sense of the world without understanding globalization. For example, many of the largest and most successful corporations in the world are in effect truly multinational organizations with offices and supply chains affected right across the world. These companies would not be able to exist if not for the complex network of trade routes, international legal agreements, and telecommunications infrastructure that were made possible through globalization. Important political developments such as the ongoing trade conflict between the United States and China are also directly related to globalization. How does globalization impact society? In general, globalization decreases the cost of manufacturing. This means that companies can offer goods at a lower price to consumers. The average cost of goods is a key aspect that contributes to increases in the standard of living. Consumers also have access to a wider variety of goods. So what is the difference between globalization of market and globalization of productions? Globalizations of markets refers to convergence in buyer preferences in market around the world. Globalization of productions is the dispersal of production activities worldwide to minimize cost for or maximize quality. What are the benefits of globalizations of markets and globalizations of production? So, globalization allows companies to find lower cost ways to produce their products. It also increases global competitions, which drives prices down and creates a larger variety of choices for consumers. Lowered costs help people in both developing and already developed countries live better on less money.
International financial institutions, or the IFIs, plays a crucial role in the creation and maintenance of a global economy by providing financial stability, fostering economic growth, and promoting international cooperation. These institutions are typically multilateral organizations that involve multiple countries, and their primary functions include stabilizing financial systems. The IFI, such as the International Monetary Fund and the Bank for International Settlements, work to stabilize the global financial system. They, they provide financial assistance to countries to countries facing balance of payments, crisis, or currencies instability. This stabilization function helps prevent or mitigate financial contagion, which can spread across borders and negatively impact the global economy. The second one is promoting economic growth. The FIS offer financial resources and technical expertise to developing countries through loans, grants, and technical assistance programs. The World Bank, for example, provide financial support for infrastructure projects, poverty reduction programs, and economic reforms in developing nations by facilitating development and poverty reductions. The IFIs contribute to the growth of the global economy. The third one is facilitating trade. Institutions like the World Trade Organization or the WTO work to reduce trade barriers, promote fair trade practices, and resolve trade disputes. This helps create a more often and interconnected global economy by fostering the flow of goods, services across borders. The fourth one is managing global financial risk. The IFIs monitor and analyze the global economic trends, financial risks, and systemic vulnerabilities. And they provide economic forecast, research, and policy advice to member countries, helping them to make informed decisions to prevent or respond to economic crisis. The fifth one is the promoting international cooperation. These institutions serve as forums for international cooperation and coordination among member countries. They facilitate dialogue and negotiation on global economic issues such as exchange rate policies, debt relief, and climate finance. By bringing nations together, IFIs help establish common rules and standards that govern the global economy. The sixth one is the lending and investment. Many IFIs provide loans and investment capital to countries and private sector projects. The Asian Development Bank, or the ADB, and the European Bank for Reconstruction and Development, or the EBRD, are examples of regional IFIs that finance development projects and promote economic integration within their respective regions. The seventh one is the capacity building. IFIs often assist members countries in building institutional capacity, improving governance, and implementing economic reforms. This support can enhance a country's ability to participate effectively in the global economy. The eighth one is the crisis prevention and resolution. These IFIs work to prevent financial crisis by providing policy advice and encouraging sound economic policies. In times of crisis, they may extend financial assistance with condition and stabilizing the affected country economy. The last one is research and data. IFIs conduct research on various aspects on the global economy, including economic trends, financial stability, and sustainable development. They also gather and disseminate economic data that can inform policymakers and businesses. So in summary, international financial institutions are central to the creation of a global economy by promoting financial stability, economic growth, and cooperation among nations. Their various functions and roles help countries navigate the challenges and opportunities of interconnected world economy. However, their effectiveness and impact can vary, and debates often arise over issues like governance, policy, conditionality, and balance between economic development and austerity measures in lending program.
History of global market integration in the 20th century. In the 20th century, global market integration underwent significant transformations marked by distinct phases and events that shaped the world economy. Here's a short history. Pre-World War I. Before World War I, global trade was growing steadily, driven by industrialization and imperialism. European powers controlled vast colonial empires, facilitating the flow of goods and resources. However, protectionist policies and trade barriers were common, limiting the extent of global integration. Interwar period. The aftermath of World War I saw economic turmoil, protectionism, and the Great Depression. The global economy contracted, and countries increasingly turned inward, imposing trade restrictions to protect their domestic industries. Bretton Woods era, 1944 to 1971. After the World War II, the Bretton Woods Conference established a new international monetary system, with the US dollar as the primary reserve currency tied to gold. Institutions like the IMF and World Bank were created to promote global economic stability and development. This era saw a gradual reduction in trade barriers fostering increased global trade. Post-Bretton Woods, 1970s to 1980s. The Bretton Woods system collapsed in the early 1970s, leading to the era of floating exchange rates. The oil crisis of the 1970s and economic stagnation in the Western countries posed challenges. Nevertheless, advancements in technology and communication began to connect global markets more efficiently. 1990s and early 20s. The fall of Berlin Wall and the dissolution of the Soviet Union opened up new markets in Eastern Europe and Asia. Trade liberalization efforts such as the establishment of the World Trade Organization or WTO and establishment in 1995 aimed to reduce trade barriers further. Technological innovation, particularly the Internet, revolutionized the way business was conducted internationally. Globalization and the 21st century. The late 20th and 21st centuries witnessed a remarkable surge in global market integration. Supply chains became increasingly complex and extended across multiple countries. Emerging economies like China and India became major players in global trade. The rise of multinational corporations of the ease of digital transaction further accelerated integration. Global financial crisis 2008. The 2008 financial crisis exposed vulnerabilities in the interconnected global financial system. Governments and central banks collaborated to stabilize the global economy through stimulus packages and monetary policy measures. Challenges and debates. Globalization faced challenges such as income inequality, environmental concerns, and backlash against free trade agreements. Debates emerged regarding the benefits and drawbacks of globalization, leading to the discussion on fair trade, protectionism, and sustainable development. Recent developments. Geopolitical tensions such as the US-China trade dispute, Brexit, and the COVID-19 pandemic have influenced global market dynamics. These events have highlighted the fragility of deeply integrated global supply chains. In conclusion, the 20th century witnessed a turbulent journey of global market integration, from periods of isolationism to phase of deep interconnectedness. Economic, political, and technological factors continually reshape the global economy, setting the stage for the complex and dynamic global markets we see today. That's all, thank you.
Attributes of global operations. Number one, sensitivity to cultural diversity. In the modern global marketplace, it is common for organizations to conduct business with individuals and companies across the globe. Whether you deal with corporations from another nation or interact with people from different continents, it is crucial to remain culturally sensitive to ensure your clients and employees trust your company and remain associated with you for an extended time. Cultural sensitivity includes remaining considerate towards other cultures, knowing and understanding diverse cultures, and affirming the variations and similarities helps individuals interact more efficiently and create significant relationships. Number two, humility. Humble people are not only more polite and considerate, but they also have stronger self-control as they know what they are doing at all times. A humble person focuses on achieving personal goals and organizational targets. Humility makes people better learners and thinkers. Humility is, in fact, one of the most powerful and important attributes of growth, both in and out of the ring. Being humble helps to build trust and facilitates learning, which are key aspects of leadership and personal development. Number three, cautious honesty. The matter of ethics and morality in business arena as well as professional arena exists in response to the global business settings under global leadership development. They are very much aware with the business premises as it is matter of businesses reputation that will suffer in long run if there are recognized about honesty problem. It recognizes the attributes of global operation. Number four, global thinking. Good quality of a good leader in a global strategic thinking as well as think strategically about managing business could be more result oriented as well as using the best people and they have the ability at the highest levels in global matters. To make strategic decisions, it is very required to have the experience of the global strategic thinking in the business world works on global scale. Number five, presence. If a good quality of the presence of certain charisma surrounds the area, they have self-confidence in way of talking. Energy level must show the presence of mind that belongs to comfort with the challenges and have the courage to accept the challenge and deal with it. It recognizes the characteristics of global leaders.
Is all about the Bretton Woods system. Introduction. The Bretton Woods system was international monetary arrangement established in 1944. Under this system, major world currencies were fixed in the US dollars, which was convertible to gold. It was play a crucial role in post-World War II economic stability and the creation of global financial institutions like the International Monetary Fund (IMF) and the World Bank. Background: the Bretton Woods system, named after the 1944 Bretton Woods Conference, was a landmark international monetary agreement. It emerged against the backdrop and the economic turmoil following World War II, seeking to establish stability by pegging major world currency to the US, which was backed by gold reserve. This system laid the foundation for the post-war global economic order of the creation of the vital financial institution. Creation of Bretton Woods. The Bretton Woods system was established at the 1944 Bretton Woods Conference through the collective efforts of 44 allied nations. During this conference, delegates and negotiated and agreed upon a framework that fixed exchange rate to the dollars and created institutions like the IMF and the World Bank to oversee and facilitate international monetary cooperation and economic development. The Bretton Woods system had three key components. Firstly, it established fixed exchange rate with major world currencies pegged to the US dollar, which in turn was tied to gold. Secondly, it led to the creation of the International Monetary Fund to oversee exchange rate stability and provide financial assistance. And lastly, it established the World Bank to promote post-war reconstruction and economic development in member countries. The Bretton Woods system legacy endures in several ways. It lays the groundwork for modern international monetary cooperation, inspired subsequent financial arrangement, and contributed to the stability and growth of the global economic. Even after its collapse in 1971, leaving a lasting impact on the structure of international finance and institutions. Conclusion: Bretton Woods system stands as a historical milestone in global finance. While it eventually gave way to flexible exchange rate, its enduring legacy persists in the form of international financial institutions like the IMF and the World Bank, which continue to promote monetary stability and economic development worldwide. Furthermore, the Bretton Woods system influence in post-war economic recovery and the establishment of enduring principle for international monetary cooperation solidifies its place in the annals of